Welcome to the Reese Report. I'm the mouth of the North, Andrew Reese, and look at what we have here. We have the entire cast of characters here for the NFL Preview 2023. That's right, we have Jose Carlos Gomes, almost called him Jose Santos, Mr. JCG, Jose
You, wi-
GM.
you wishes.
Yeah, I know exactly. We have Tony
Yeah,
Barbosa, Mr. Colts fan, and look at who is that? Is that Gil Santos? He's back. He's been gone
Back
for so long. The last time we saw him was at the NHL preview. He's back. Gil, were you lost at sea? What happened to you?
traveling the world, buddy.
Traveling the world. Hey, yes, he's in Portugal all summer. So he's back, and I'm looking forward to seeing him on Friday and doing the preview today and also doing picks on Tuesday night as we are doing NFL fantasy on Wednesday night. Looking forward to that as well. Lots of NFL stuff. The exciting days are back. The boring summer is over. And we're going to preview all of the NFL today. We're going to be doing division picks, who we think the buy is going to be, our wild cards, and who's going to be MVP, which is always an eventful thing. And I will remind people who was picked last year by our people. Barbosa did not pick last year, so he gets a free pass. But his picks have already started interesting after last week's conversation. So we're going to see where that goes. So, but let's start with the AFC East. Um, and I will start off because Gil's, has been away for a while. So we're going to start with Gil. Who wins the AFC East, Gil? One of the most competitive divisions in the entire conference this year.
Well, it was hard for me to pick, analyzing everything, but I hate to say it, but I'm gonna say the Jets, and not
Aaron
just because,
Rodgers gets the
and I
Jets.
and I'm not just gonna say,
Wow.
and I'm not gonna say just because of Aaron Rodgers. He got Cobb, he got Lazard. He's very connected to those guys. He has Garrett Wilson there. They got Cooks now in the back, and that defense is pretty solid. So I figure the Bills lost a little bit on the running game. They really have no one to run the ball. Everything's on Allen. The defense is good. They're not really as great now, as you can tell. Buffalo doesn't have great wide receivers as the Jets do now. And then Miami, to me, Miami, Tua is just not the guy for me. I don't believe in him. He's good, can have his talent. I'm just not a believer in Tua. But I'm gonna say the Jets win the FC East.
And
Ooh,
Barbosa, yep. Hey, there's going to be some surprises. The AFC is absolutely loaded. Barbosa, who do you got?
I got the Bills. The Bills are still the class of the AFC East. Josh Allen's still the best quarterback in that division. The defense is solid, and they're getting. Remember, most of the season they didn't have Von Miller, and he's coming back. I think after week 4, so
Correct.
that's a huge boost to their defense. So that's why I still take the Bills to win that division. They still got the best quarterback in the division. So
Jose, who do you got winning the AFC East?
Um, it's tough, but I got the Jets winning the East. I think last year with Wilson and White and everybody, they were in the playoff race, and they were challenging the Bills for the AFC East. But I think with the upgrades with Rodgers there, with Dalvin Cook, they already have the defense, they have the offense. Bills are going to be hurting with Von Miller. They lost Trey Edmonds, the linebacker Trey Edmonds away from free agency, so that's a big loss in their defense. A lot of guys are still coming back from injury for Buffalo. They have no run game, so to me, I like the Jets in the AFC East.
I'm going to take the Bills. It's going to be a very, very close race. Not the biggest Josh Allen fan, but I like that they picked up Dalton. I believe his name's Kincaid. I can't remember the tight end they drafted. I like him along with Knox. Gabe Davis and Diggs are still there for now. Their offense should be really good, and hopefully their defense can keep him in most games. Um, I'm not sure about the Jets or the Dolphins. Too many question marks for me. I've seen this story before with the Jets. They make a dream team. They add all these players, and then there's no chemistry, and they end up falling apart. So I'm not a believer in the Jets or the Dolphins because of injuries. So I'm gonna stick with the Bills, and we'll see what happens in the wild cards for these other teams.
But you forget the Bills do have injury problems too. Josh Allen last year got hurt and stuff, and what happened to the Bills? They started losing games. So this injury bullshit's not. It's not
The
an
Bills were
excuse.
14-3 last year. I have a hard time believing they're going to drop from 14-3 to 10-7. I don't see that happening. But we'll see.
It's going to be very hard for Buffalo to drop off that bad.
They'll drop, but I don't see them dropping like
that
14-3.
No.
I don't see them dropping that bad. Like, and the Jets have to go from 7-9 to 12 wins. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is getting them 5 extra wins, but that's just me. And Tua's injuries are major. If they don't have Tua, they got Skyler. And Gil saw Skyler when he went to go see that game last year. Was laughing the whole game. So, we don't want to see Skyler for the Dolphins. Bridgewater is elsewhere now. So, we're not going to see him either. But these are all tough guys. You're going to have all different picks. And now we go to another tough division in the AFC North, where all 4 teams are good.
It's probably the toughest division in football. Yeah, it's probably the toughest division in football.
Probably have a bunch of different picks here. Let's start with Jose on this one. Who do you have winning the North?
I have Cincinnati winning the North. They have the offense, they have the defense. Just the problem is just maybe the health of Joe Burrow, since he got hurt that in practice and stuff like that. But he should be ready to go. They have Jamar Chase, man. They have the wide receiver core. They have the running game. They bulked up the offensive line. So I like Cincinnati in this, but it's gonna be close, man. And I also like Pittsburgh in this division too. They're gonna upset a lot of people, man. Everybody's downplaying the Pittsburgh Steelers, but Pittsburgh's tough in this division. But I like Cincy. I think they have more firepower than Baltimore than Pittsburgh right now. So I'm taking Cincy.
Barbosa.
I'm with Jose. I'm going Cincy. Just again, best quarterback in the division. Joe Burrow is the best quarterback in that division. Their offense with the 2-headed monster of the receivers, Joe Mixon, and their defense has improved a little bit. The offensive line that was the biggest question mark that they had. But if they can shore up that offensive line, they'll be a good team. So that's why I took Cincy.
Yo.
I take the Baltimore Ravens. I like Baltimore Ravens. I think this year Lamar is gonna have a great year. Beckham's gonna be there helping him, even though he might be handicapped. We don't know, but it's just a presence in the room. And the defense, Baltimore's always had defense, great coaching. They have three guys that can run the ball. And I just have this thing. It's Lamar's year. He has something to prove. I think he's good enough. He just needs that year to overdo the hump, and I think Baltimore, this might be the year.
Nothing wrong with that. I'm gonna take the Bengals. I just think Joe Burrow's really good, and he's the most reliable quarterback in the division. He seems to be able to lift his teams to wins that they shouldn't get, despite the defense kind of being average sometimes, and despite their offensive line not being very good. He's able to lift his team to get wins. They beat Kansas City every year in the regular season. That's impressive in itself. So tough division. I don't think we're going to see a huge win total in this division, but they'll sneak it out, maybe 12 wins, 11 wins to win the division, but it'll be close. But I'll take the Bengals in this one. Now we go to the joke division, and that's the AFC South. And because I want to laugh, I'm going to start with Barbosa. Who do you have in the AFC South?
I got the I got the Jaguars winning the division.
Like Jose almost started to laugh. Almost.
No, I'm not gonna take the Colts. They're not. It's gonna be Jacksonville. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence took a huge step forward last year. Their defense got a little bit better. They for playing in that division, they should be contending for the AFC, for the number 1 seed in the AFC, just because the division they're playing in. But that's why it took Jacksonville. Every other team isn't.
They're not good. No.
Yeah, exactly.
Gil, you're not the biggest fan of Trevor Lawrence, but who do you have in this division?
Trevor Lawrence. I'm going Jacksonville. Indy, once again, they look lost. They don't know what they're doing. Taylor's out. If they start Richardson, I think he'll have a lot of. He's a gambler. Watched him in the college, or he gets it, or he gets intercepted. So the kid might get a lot of interceptions. Might be a learning curve for him. Jacksonville as Lawrence. They're not gonna win the Super Bowl, I'll tell you that. But and then the running back too, Saint Etienne. He's good. But yeah, the division's really weak. But it's gonna be a Jacksonville.
Jose, you gonna make it unanimous?
Yeah, Jacksonville should win this division, but you know what? Watch out for Tennessee. Tennessee with getting Hopkins and Burks on the outside, with Derrick Henry running the ball. Like a lot of injured players from the defensive end are coming back. They'll make it interesting, but the Jags should win the division. But don't count out the Tennessee Titans. I think Tennessee will challenge them for the first overall in the AFC South.
Yeah, I got the Jags. They're loaded. I like that they added Calvin Ridley. Their receiving corps is nice. Evan Ingram had a really nice end to the season. Etienne is an all-pro back. Lawrence is starting to find himself, turn the ball over less. Led his team to an incredible comeback against the choking Chargers last year. I think the Jags win this division easy. Tony Khan's going to be a happy man at the end of the year. At the Titans, to me, until they decide to get rid of Tannehill, I don't trust that team.
Nope.
Will Levis will probably be starting by week 4, and then I'll make my decision on them at that point. But it'll be too late. Jacksonville will have too big a lead, and they'll win the division. Now we go to a division that, to me, like every year is hyped up, but is overrated, and that's the AFC West. Let's see. Let's start with Jose. Who do you have in the AFC West?
Oh, you gotta have the Chiefs, man. Hands down, they're the best team in that division. They got the best quarterback in the league, hands down. It's the only thing that scares me is Chandler Jones not signing yet, and he's gonna be out maybe week 1 and until he signs a contract. So that's a big loss on defense if they can't re-sign him. But besides that, they have a team. They have a way better team than anybody in the AFC West. Raiders with Jimmy G, I don't see them going anywhere. The only team that can challenge them is the Denver Broncos. They have the defense, they have the offense, especially with Sean Payton taking over the helm as a coach there. I think they'll challenge the Chiefs, but I think the Chiefs will come up top in the division.
Gil, are you going to repeat what you did last year and take the Broncos?
Yes, I think this is the year. They got Peyton in there. KC, I think they're a great team. I just feel like every team has that era, and I think their era is done. I'm talking about Super Bowl here. I think their Super Bowl era is done. Yeah, I like Peyton. Peyton's gonna let Wilson be free. They have the wide receiving core to get it done. They have the running game. They have the defense. They're a great defense. So I'm going to take Denver this year.
Barbosa, who do you have in this division?
Until somebody proves me wrong, or until somebody beats them in the playoffs or the Super Bowl, it's Kansas City all the way. They are the Super Bowl champs. They're the best team in football, and they have the best quarterback player, however you want to call it, best player in football, in Patrick Mahomes. So that alone, he can win your games by himself. So KC winning the division.
Yeah, I got the Chiefs. Andy Reid didn't seem overly concerned about losing that defensive player. He's like, when he comes back, he comes back. As long as you have Patrick Mahomes, it doesn't seem to matter. He can get you out of trouble. Their defense has been average for years, and it hasn't mattered at all. Patrick Mahomes is unbelievable. I think the Chiefs win this division. I think they win it fairly easily. I'm not a big fan of the other teams. Denver, despite Sean Payton's bravado, I'm really looking forward to when he plays the Jets in week 4 because of all the talk there. Russell Wilson looks done to me, and I think he is done. And therefore, Denver's going nowhere because he's done. I don't think Sean Payton can all of a sudden make him a great quarterback again. He struggled mightily with Drew Brees late in his career, and I think the same thing's going to happen with Russell Wilson. So I've got the Chiefs winning this division fairly easily, just because they're the best team. The Raiders might be the worst team in the conference because Jimmy G's there and they have no defense. And we're gonna find out how good Jimmy G is without weapons and a defense around him. I don't think it's going to be pretty. And we'll see about the Chargers. They're a big mystery to me as well, with all their injury concerns and with Herbert really having to do everything himself. And Eckler, not happy with his contract, but we'll talk about them later as we get to the wild cards. I'll ask you guys for your 3 wild cards, and just tell me why what 3 wild cards you think are going to be the wild cards. 7 playoff teams now. Let's start with Gil. Gil, what wild cards do you have for this year?
Well, I got Cincinnati Bengals getting in there. I took Baltimore to win that division. And then I got Kansas City Chiefs. It's coming to second to Denver, and then I got. It was a debate, but I went with the Buffalo Bills. It was between the Bills and the Chargers, but I took the Bills.
Not bad. Jose, wild card teams?
I got Bills, Steelers, and a battle all between the Dolphins and Broncos for the last playoff spot.
Give me one team. Give me the team you like.
I'll take Broncos.
Broncos. Okay. Barbosa, wild card teams. Oh, you're gonna make this interesting, aren't you, Barbosa? Who's your wild card teams?
You guys are gonna make me no. I'm with Jose. I got the Jets. Pitt and Denver. Miami is it's tough to call Miami because of Tua. That's the only thing about Miami is Tua's health. That's what's gonna hinder Miami's chances of making the playoffs. And I think I agree with Gil. I think Denver is going to take a huge step forward with Sean Payton. I believe he will rejuvenate Russell Wilson's career. I think Russell Wilson will have I'm not going to say a great year, but he'll have a good year. So that's why. And the Steelers, the reason why I took the Steelers, like Jose said earlier, a lot of people are sleeping on the Steelers, but I like Kenny Pickett. I think he's going to be that next quarterback that people are going to be talking about. So that's why I like Steelers, and obviously Mike Tomlin always has good defenses, and he's got TJ Watt. So that's why I like Pitt, and also in the wild card.
Yeah, this was the hardest thing for me to pick as the wild cards because there's at least like 5 or 6 teams that can make the wild card in the AFC. So no picks are wrong here, guys. I mean, they're just I completely agree with Barbosa and Jose. I love the Steelers to be in the wild card. I think they finished their season really well last year. I think they were 7-2 at the end of the year. Pickens and Pickett certainly found each other a lot after the Mitchell Trubisky experiments, which ended up costing them a playoff spot. I think with them knowing who's starting right from the start, then they'll have him good. Hopefully, the running back is healthy for Gil purposes as well. Najee Harris. If they have everyone healthy in that defense with Watt, who missed some games last year, is healthy, I think they're gonna surprise a lot of people. I like them. The Ravens I like because I agree with Gil. Lamar Jackson has a lot to prove. He's gonna be on a mission. They added Odell Beckham to his lineup. They have some good receivers in there now. Good running game. Their defense is improved. No excuses necessary or required for Lamar Jackson. He's got to show up. He's got to play every game, and they should be a playoff team. The last spot was the hardest spot for me, but I went with the Chargers. I think Justin Herbert signing that massive contract has a lot to prove. Last year it didn't go well. They added Kellen Moore as an offensive coordinator, and I think he might throw for like 5,000 yards with that guy as an offensive coordinator, provided his receivers are healthy, which they were not last year at all. Austin Eckler is the best receiving running next to McCaffrey running back in the league. So if they're healthy, I think they make it.
I just
as
don't
I
like
said,
their head coach. That's the way I didn't go with the
yeah,
Chargers.
no,
I just don't like that. I don't like their head coach. He
I
makes
don't
some
like their head
bonehead
coach
plays,
either.
especially
No, I
in that
know.
wild card game against Jacksonville. It was
Yeah.
bad. So that's why I didn't take the Chargers because
Yeah,
of
I
that.
don't like their coach either. I just like the fact that they added Kellen Moore because their offense looked very messed up last year, and hopefully he helps them get better in that respect. Because I don't think their defense was the problem last year. Their offense was not as good as it
In
was
that
expected
playoff
to be.
game, that was the defense.
Yeah, but the defense also shut out Jacksonville for a half and picked them off 4 times. So
Yeah.
I you know it's you can look at it both ways, but I think Mora helped the offense. That coach is on thin ice though. Like it's so yeah, I agree. His job's on the line. He's gonna have to perform. So I think there should be some motivation there. Other teams that I left out Dolphins because of the Tua's head injuries are a major concern. I just think you have to be really concerned about that. And as I said, the Jets, I've seen this story before. Brett Favre went over there. They started 8-3 and then they fell apart. I don't trust old quarterbacks that just show up and they're gonna make magic. I saw Rodgers last year. He won the last 4 games, but he was terrible the first half of the season. I'm not convinced that he's the magic elixir for the Jets. So I'm gonna love watching that story if they miss the playoffs. So I'll just do that for that reason. Don't believe in the Broncos. Even if Wilson plays well, they were bad last year, and they're going to have a long way to go to catch up to the other teams. Even if he plays well, I just don't see them catch up. They're missing 2 wide receivers already with injuries. So the weapons are just going down. And if he doesn't have weapons and he's not moving around like he used to, they're not going to have success. So we'll see about Denver, but those are my wild card teams. Now, who is your buy? Who is the buy in the AFC? Gil, who's going to get the buy, the one and only buy?
I'm gonna take Baltimore.
The Ravens get the buy. Nice. Okay. Barbosa,
KC.
KC,
Prove me
and
wrong, it's still KC.
Jose.
KC should win that division easily.
I got the Bengals getting the buy. I think they'll edge out KC for the buy. Now we go to the NFC, and we'll start with the NFC East. I don't know. This seems pretty easy to me, but we'll see. Maybe we'll have some different picks here. Gil, who do you have in the NFC East?
I got the Eagles. I got Philadelphia Eagles. To me, kind of the Giants and Washington are out. Only Dallas can give them a challenge, but I'm gonna say the Eagles.
Barbosa.
I got America's team. I got the Cowboys winning the division.
Wow. Got the Cowboys. Okay.
I think the Eagles people are gonna figure out the Eagles. And they lost their offensive coordinator. So I think their offense might be hurting a little bit this year. I like Dallas's defense. They're probably the second best defense in the league. And I think Dak is going to prove a lot of people this year that he's one of those top quarterbacks in the league. So that's why I got the Cowboys. They got great receiving core. They got Tony Pollard. So that's why I like Dallas winning the division.
Jose?
I like Dallas as well. I think Dak Prescott this year has to have the season of his life, or else he's gone out of there in Dallas. Like Barbosa said, I believe Dallas's defense is way better than the Eagles. I think the Eagles lost a lot of key players on the defensive end. Jalen Hurts will do his thing with the Eagles offense. They'll put up points, but I just think that the Cowboys all around team is better than the Eagles this year. So I'm taking the Cowboys. But it's gonna and a lot of things goes to the strength of schedule, because the Eagles have to play a lot of first place teams in other divisions, right? So that plays a difference in the standings and in
They're
the
gonna
games
have a
and stuff
tough
like that.
schedule.
Yeah, so that's why I got the Cowboys winning the division.
I'll take the Eagles. Very close matchup. Probably within a game. I don't trust the Cowboys. Dak Prescott's a turnover machine, and until he proves otherwise, I don't trust him to not turn the football over. The guy led the NFL in interceptions despite missing 5 games. If he does miss 5 games again, they won't win the division. He's been hurt the last 2 years, so I just don't trust them. I love their defense, but I'm gonna stick with the Eagles. I like Jalen Hurts. I think he's the better quarterback, and they'll win by about a game over Dallas. To the NFC North, and because it's Gil's division, I'll ask him who's winning it. Are you feeling the love, Gil?
You know what? This division, I don't know.
Hmm.
They're all bad. They're all in a bad situation. Um, I'm gonna say Green Bay because I've watched, Favre. He took over starts and he became a superstar. Rodgers came in, he became a superstar. So let's see if the love continues that thing. But it's also because the Bears are the Bears, and Detroit's upcoming a little bit, but their defense is still horrible. They have to win like 50-48 every game if they even want to win. Minnesota lost Thielen. They lost the running back. So, and Kirk Cousins is Kirk Cousins, right? So the whole division's bad. Uh, the North here is like it's like the South of the AFC. So I'm gonna go with Green Bay.
Jose.
This one's tough to pick, man, but I'm going to go with Green Bay as well. I think Green Bay has the right pieces with with a bunch of youngsters. Like I'm saying, they have the right receiving core with the Watson and Dobbs, and they have the running game. You can't forget Aaron Jones is back there still, and the defense. They have probably the best secondary in the NFC, which Jadir Alexander and the other guy Chambers or whatever his name is. So I think to me, Green Bay has the better defense in that division. Love, I'm not gonna say he's not gonna be no Rodgers or Favre or something like that, but he'll do his thing. He'll play smart football. I think LaFleur will make him, play offensive towards his skill level and stuff like that. They're gonna be see a lot of rushing with Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. So I like Green Bay in that division. Just that the Bears are unproven. Justin Fields, they got him a lot of wide receivers, but can he really throw the ball? Like the past 2 years, he hasn't done throw the ball at all. The Lions, offensively, they're solid. They picked up some young kids, but they're still up and coming team. Like Gil was saying, they'll challenge. They'll come. I think they'll come second in the division, Lions. But yeah, and then Minnesota. Besides Justin Jefferson, who's there? Nobody, right? So I like Green Bay in this division.
Barbosa.
It was a tough call to predict this division too. But I have the Lions finishing first. I think their defense is going to improve this year. I really like the kid that they drafted last year. I think he's gonna be a good defensive player. I think they're gonna take a step forward with their defense. Obviously, their offense is what won them the division last year. So that's why I think the Lions will still win the division again this year. I think they'll have a more improved defense than they did last year.
Lions
But
didn't win the division last year, but whatever. It's okay.
whatever.
The Lions made the playoffs over Green Bay
Yeah,
late.
they made the playoffs.
Minnesota won the division last year, but
Yeah, so-
I also have the Lions. I liked how they ended their season last year. I like the players they added. I think their defense improved as the season went along. They ended their season 6-2, beating the Packers for the last playoff spot. I like their coach, who's a pretty fiery guy. I think they're going to improve. And I think Minnesota drops from their lucky 11-0 start, and I think the Lions win this division. It's going to be a very close division. Anyone can win it, but I liked how the Lions finished their year, so I'll stick with them and to win the division. But it'll be very close. The NFC South. This is the worst division in football. The winner of this division will probably have 7 wins, so good luck. Jose, what's your best guess?
NWO, New Orleans.
New Orleans. Okay.
Picked up David Carr. Great pickup for them. Solidifies the quarterback position for them. They're getting Michael Thomas back this year, so that's another wide receiver threat right there with the Chris Olave. I know Kamara's injured, is going to be suspended for some games during the beginning of the season, but he'll come back. That's another weapon. The defense, they have the defense already with Cam Jordan and Lattimore. So I think they're the best team in the division. So I see New Orleans winning that division.
Barbosa.
New Orleans is winning that division. Nobody's gonna come close. I think they're gonna win the division by 4 or 5 games. Everybody else, I don't see them coming close.
Yo.
Yeah, I agree. New Orleans should win that division. Card needs that team to something to prove too, right? Oakland just kicked them out. And I don't know, Tampa might come close. They got Baker Mayfield in there. We'll see how he does, but I would say the right thing to say would be New Orleans.
I thought about taking the Bucks here because Mayfield's career's on the line, but I felt like the Bucks are trying to tank to get a quarterback. Like I don't feel like they're trying to win this year. So I'll take the Saints because they have the most to prove. All the other teams are starting rookie quarterbacks pretty much. I mean, even Baker Mayfield is not a rookie, but it feels like he's a rookie out there. With Kyle Trask as the backup, we might see him at some point. So in that respect, I think you have to go with New Orleans because they have all the experience and they have Derek Carr who's out to prove something. Kamara suspended the first 3 games. Thomas has been hurt for 2 years, so that's a concern. But their defense is good enough that they should win this division. But I don't think it's going to be by a lot because I don't think any team is particularly good. They might win 9 games, New Orleans. I mean, I don't know if the teams are good enough to win more than that. It is a weak division, but I think New Orleans wins, but it'll be they'll win the division, but they won't have a lot of wins. So that's my pick. To the NFC West, Jose and I, you already know who Jose and I are picking, so I'll go to Barbosa for this, and then Gil. Who do you have in the NFC West?
I got the 49ers. They still got the best defense in football. They got skilled players in every position except we'll see about the quarterback. But I like the 49ers in this division.
Gil?
Yeah, I also have the 49ers. I was always a believer in the 49ers. It was just a joke with the Garoppolo thing for me. Never believed in them because of that.
Absolutely.
They got him out of there. So, last year I remember you saying Trey Lance. Jose knows this about me too. We've talked on the side where I wasn't really thinking Trey Lance was the guy either. But Purdy now in there, it's gonna change the game. San Fran's D's also, great. McCaffrey's there. They just gotta get some good plays, but San Fran should win that division pretty easy.
Jose.
Yeah, San Fran's going to win this division. The only team that can challenge them in this division is the Seahawks. Freaking Arizona, they lost everybody. Don't know quarterback. LA with Stafford coming off injury, Cooper Kupp's getting injured in practice and stuff. So they're gonna be a mess too. The only team that's gonna challenge them is the Seahawks, but I don't see them like maybe the Niners should win this division easily, but if anything, the only team that's gonna give them a competition is the Seahawks in that division. But the Niners should win that.
Yeah, I know we're fans of the 49ers, but they win this division easy. And I'm not even saying that because I'm a fan. I think they have the best team in the NFC by a mile. I don't think it's particularly close. As long as Purdy does what he did last year, they're loaded at every position except for the offensive line, which is a concern because Purdy got hurt last year because of the offensive line. So their quarterbacks seem to get hurt all the time because of the offensive line. And so if he stays healthy, no one's beating San Francisco, not only in the division, but the entire West. It's just loaded. I am worried about Bosa sitting out, but he'll probably be back. They just have weapons everywhere. There's nothing else to say. They're the best team. As we go to the wild card, we'll discuss the overall number 1 seed later, but they're winning the division. to the wild cards. This ought to be interesting because this is a mess of a conference. Gil, who are your wild cards in this week?
Well, Reese,
NFC?
we should start, eh? Yeah, we got less than a minute.
Yeah, no, I'll cut it off and we'll go to the wild cards. I'll have to cut this after, and then we'll go. Welcome back to the Reese Report. We had a little technical glitch there. Our internet shut off, but we're back, and we were in the middle of doing our wild card picks. Our apologies. We're going to go to the NFC wild card picks now as we continue the show. Let's start with Tony, who said that this is a very disaster of a conference. So I'm curious who he likes in the NFC as his wild cards.
The top wild card is the Eagles. I think even though I got the Cowboys winning the division, I think the Eagles are still a good team. I got the Giants, and then I got the Packers as my 3 wild card teams. The Giants made the playoffs last year. They took a huge step last year. I think with Saquon Barkley now with a new contract and all that, I think the Giants will still be a good team. They had a decent defense, and I think the Packers will prove a lot of people. A lot of people are not on the love train, but I believe with the coaching, I believe he's going to be the right coach for Love. So I got the Packers as the last wildcard team.
Gil?
I got Dallas Cowboys. I'm gonna say Seattle's gonna sneak in there, and the last one's gonna be the Detroit Lions are gonna sneak in.
Okay. Jose.
I got basically the same thing. It's just I got the Eagles because I took the Cowboys to win. I got Eagles, Seahawks, and Lions. I just think I think Seahawks they made the playoffs last year. They improved with their draft picks. They're going to be a strong team. Lions are an upcoming team. I think they'll finish second in that division and make the playoffs. And then any other team, I don't. Well, besides maybe the Bucks challenging for the last wild card, but any other NFC team is garbage. So we'll just leave it as that.
Yeah, I have the Cowboys, obviously, because I have the Eagles winning division. I do have the Packers. I think they will get a wild card. I'm a fan of Jordan Love. I think he'll get them there. Oh boy, that last one. My last one was between the Vikings and the Bucks. Who do I like more, Cousins or Mayfield? You know what? I'm going to take the Vikings because it's Cousins' contract year, and he has to play well to get another contract, and he has to still try to win with that team. Considering they were 14-3 last year, even if they drop, how far are they going to drop? Are they going to drop right out of the playoffs in that weak conference? I don't think so. I think they'll still sneak in there somehow and then get their brains beat off in the first round, like always. But I think the Vikings will drop, but not that much. So I'll pick them as the last wild card, sneak in there. But that conference, like, good luck. Outside the top 3 teams, it could be anybody. The Bears could make it. I don't know. Any surprises for you guys? Any team that we haven't mentioned that could be a surprise team? Because every year there's a surprise team.
I like the Bears. Honest truth, like
the Bears are not bad.
They improved defensively. They went signing on a lot of guys on the defensive end, and they picked up DJ Moore too, which is another weapon for Justin Fields. Depends on Justin Fields. Is he gonna be able to throw the ball? You know what I mean, and not just be a scrambler like he did last year.
The Bears are improved. Yeah, the Bears
100%,
are improved.
100%.
Yeah. Gil, any surprises in either conference for you that might sneak in there that we haven't mentioned?
Teams that we haven't mentioned. For some reason, I feel in the NFC, don't be surprised if Carolina surprises does some upsets.
Do you like the rookie?
They might, and
Bryce Young?
they still have a pretty good core around. Their defense is not too bad. I can see Carolina make some upsets.
Okay, so Bryce Young, you're a fan.
We'll see. They're gonna make mistakes, but I just
Mhm.
think surprising that we haven't mentioned out of all the teams, I would say NFC, yeah, I would say Carolina might do some damage here and
Okay.
there.
Barbosa, is your surprise team the Colts?
Of course,
Yeah,
of course, of course. My surprise team is gonna be the Colts in the AFC.
they're gonna go undefeated.
They're gonna go defeated. Come on, I'm not that
Okay,
confident.
let me ask you this, Barbosa. Will Anthony Richardson win Rookie of the Year? That's a more reasonable question.
He has the chance to win it. I think he has to me probably has the best odds to win the Rookie of the Year this year.
I think it's the Bryce Young first, number one in that. I gotta look, but yeah.
I
You got
think
Bijan Robinson, man.
I think he's
Oh,
got better
Bijan
weapons.
Robinson. Yes, Bijan
I think he's
Robinson.
got better weapons around him than
CJ Stroud and Bryce Young.
CJ
Yeah.
Stroud and Bryce Young. I think he's got better weapons around them than the other two
I totally disagree. I think Bryce Young has he has Thielen, he has Mingo, he has Chuba Hubbard. They have the defense in Carolina. I think he's gonna be Rookie of the Year, personally. I think Bijan Robinson is getting overplayed in Atlanta. I think he's got the talent, but I don't think he's gonna be a 3 down running back. So
They
that's
got
gonna
three
hurt him a
running
lot.
backs in Atlanta, right? Like they're gonna play three guys.
They have
Yeah.
Allegri, they have him, and they have everybody
Patterson.
still forgets about Cordell Patterson. The man
Yeah.
put up like freaking double-digit touchdowns last year.
Yeah.
Everybody forgets about him.
Yeah.
But yeah, so and the team that we haven't mentioned, also going back on the AFC, I like the Chargers, man. I think nobody's talking about the Chargers, but last year what screwed him up was Mike Williams getting hurt the last game of the season. I don't even know why he was playing anyway, because they already had clinched a playoff spot. But that was stupid of the coach letting him play, and then he got hurt. That was a big loss for them. But with them all healthy, with Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Eckler, they got Joey Bosa and freaking who else was that? Was the Marlon Mack back there?
Yeah.
But they have the good team, and I think they can be a big surprise in the AFC too.
Yeah. I'm the only
And
one
for
with
me-
them
and for
in a
me-
wild card.
And for me, I forgot to say the AFC one. The AFC for me would be the Browns.
Yeah,
Or-
no one's talking about the Browns. That's a big mystery with Deshaun Watson. How is he in a full season with them? Like they're the team no one's talking about in that division, and they could surprise. I mean, it's just that the Browns are the Browns, and no one ever expects them to do anything. That's the problem. But they're that division's tough. Those games are going to be fun to watch. Before we almost forgot who will get the bye in the NFC. I got the 49ers getting the bye. Jose.
Yeah, me too. I think the 49ers should get that bye. But the Eagles or the Cowboys, besides, honest truth, those three teams are the best teams in the NFC.
Yes.
Hands down.
It's not
so
close.
It's going to be between them three to make it to the Super Bowl, in my opinion. But then again, there's always surprises here and there. But to me, the 49ers should get the bye first round.
Gil, who gets the bye?
I got Philadelphia Eagles.
The Eagles? Okay. And Barbosa, who gets the bye?
I got the Niners. Like I said,
Yeah.
their defense is probably the best defense in the NFL. They have weapons all around. If Brock Purdy can use them, can play like he did last year, I don't see. I think I can see San Fran going 15-1, 14-2. I can see that happening in that conference.
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to who makes more mistakes between Prescott and Purdy and Hurts. Who wins that division? Because they're pretty solid across the board. San Fran's defense was right, and Dallas's are 1-1A, 1-1-2.
Yeah.
Like they're really good defenses. And then it's going to come down to can Dak Prescott avoid interceptions? Same thing with Purdy. Purdy's a gunslinger. He likes to throw that ball out there. So he'll probably have more picks this year, but I like the fact that he throws the football down the field with the speed receivers we have. You got Brandon Ayuk and you got yeah, you got Samuel and Ayuk. You got to throw the ball out to them and allow them to run the rest of the way. He used George Kittle very well, which is something that was not good when he wasn't being used. So as long as they're healthy, Kittle's got some. He should be good for week 1. Other than that, they have no injuries. Bosa, who knows with the contract, but hopefully he's back. Now we go to MVP. This is always an interesting conversation every year. Every year there's a different pick. Last year, Gil picked Russell Wilson. That was not good. Jose picked Josh Allen, and I was the worst one. I picked Trey Lance. So like I've had the worst pick by a mile, even though Gil picked Russell Wilson, who was the worst quarterback in the league last year. But Jose must have been closest, I would assume. Allen was probably second or third in the voting. But I'm not starting with me. I'm going to start. Actually, let's go Barbosa. Barbosa, who do you have for MVP? You didn't get the pick last year. Who you got for MVP?
I got Joe Burrow. He's the talk of everybody now. He's the sexy name that it's on everybody's mouth. And I think since he will have a big year, I think Joe Burrow will have a big year. I don't think they're going to go back to Patrick Mahomes. He's already got it a couple of times. I think they're looking for that next guy to get the vote. So I say Joe Burrow will be that guy this year.
Gil, who's your MVP this year? Don't say Russell Wilson.
My MVP this year, I'm going with Lamar Jackson.
Not great pick. I think he's got a great shot at it. Does he go for 1,000 yards? Or does he throw the football more?
He's going to throw the football more.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. He's going to throw the football more.
Well, Gil, what do you think? You picked the Ravens a lot here. Do you think Odell Beckham is going to make the difference, even with his health concerns? Like, why do you think that they're going to be so much better this year?
Just to talk, Lamar really felt disappointed in his game last year, and got a lot of pressure that he knows he can play better. And
the contract talk.
I've been watching. There's the contract, but that's also big. But I've been watching even on NFL Access, and hearing him talk. He's going for like a big year this year.
He's on a mission this year. Yeah. Jose, who do you got for MVP?
I'm going off the board, man. I'm going Old Man Rodgers.
Wow, really? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think this year he's got something to prove, and he's got the team, he's got the weapons around him, and he's gonna do it, man. Trust me, that guy, he's got a little chip on his shoulder. Everybody's saying that he's done or whatever, this and that, and he's going back to his number 8 from Cal. So watch out, man. He's gonna do good this year. I think he's gonna improve. He's gonna really improve the Jets team offensively. And watch Garrett Wilson and him. And it's gonna be another. That's gonna be a Davante Adams Rodgers 2.0 right there. Watch, you'll see. Did you watch the preseason throw that he did to Garrett Wilson?
I did. Yeah, it was nice.
Watch it.
I did.
It's gonna happen lots this year.
He won't freeze them out like he did all the Green Bay receivers for his boys?
Nope. No, okay. I don't think so. I think he's the main guy, man. I think he's the main guy.
Wilson's a great receiver. No question. If Breece Hall comes back and he plays as well as he did last year, they're going to be great offensively. We'll see. That's a lot of chemistry to go with. We'll see what happens there. I'm going to pick Joe Burrow. I think that he's on a mission this year. I think he's really pissed off about how last year ended because of that Bills cancellation game. I think it cost them the number 1 seed. They would have beat the Bills that night. They already had the tiebreaker against Kansas City because they beat them in the regular season, and they didn't have the opportunity to finish first because of that canceled game. And I think Burrow's going to be on a mission to actually win the number 1 seed to get home field this year. And so I'll pick him. He's the second favorite. I think the favorite is Mahomes. I like the off the board picks though. I like those. Those are always good. Rodgers, I think he won't. I don't think he's going to win it because I think they're going to rely on the run game and the defense more than him. They just want him to make the throws that the quarterbacks couldn't make last year. But his stats probably won't be high enough for him to win the award. I give an outside chance to I don't want to. I like Gil's pick a lot. I like Lamar Jackson as well. But we'll see. This is a wide open MVP race. I don't think Mahomes is winning either, even though He'd have to go crazy to win it again. Like how often can you throw 50 touchdowns? Last thing we'll do, I didn't met
the other guy that I would say, if you want an off the board pick, don't be surprised if Kenny Pickett gets some votes.
I don't think
Come on,
he won't have the stats.
Why?
He won't have the stats.
Okay,
He
don't
won't.
worry.
Trust me,
Watch.
the team is
Watch.
good. There'll be an up and coming team, but he's not gonna have the stats like
it's a stat award. That's the problem.
Lamar. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, it's a stat award, right?
If anything, maybe Justin Herbert. Maybe if he can.
I
if
thought
everybody
about Justin
stay
Herbert.
Healthy,
Yeah.
Like I see that guy
way,
putting up a lot of points and
Yeah.
like stats. Because
Yeah.
this is a stat, like MVP is a
Yeah.
stat league. It's not like how good you were.
I understand. I know what it is. I know what it is.
The way Kellen Moore
my
calls
point.
the game, like I could see Herbert winning it because he's going to throw for like 5,000 yards because Kellen Moore loves to throw the ball.
But let's be realistic. The team's got to play well too. If
I know they're in a
Herbert,
tough division.
If they go 9-7, they're not going to give it to Justin Herbert. He can throw for 5,000 yards and 40 touchdowns. They're not going to give it to him.
Here's the thing, though.
And what do you think? And what do you think the Steelers are going to finish? Sorry.
Yeah.
What do you think the Steelers
have a better record? I think they have a better record than the Chargers. I can put my money on that, and they'll have a better record than the Chargers.
Okay, but like here's an example: if the Chargers win the division, then Herbert can win the MVP because that would mean that he knocks Mahomes off of the. That's the only way that I think he wins it.
That's the only way. I agree with you.
Right?
That's
if they beat the Chargers for the division, he can win the MVP.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I agree with that. If that happens, but it's a tough ask to do that.
Like if the Jets win the East, then Rodgers is a candidate because they upset the Bills and they beat the Dolphins in a tough division. So that makes him a candidate. Same thing with Gil picking, Lamar Jackson in that division. If you win that division, you got a real chance at winning MVP. So those are all great picks. Now we're going to do early Super Bowl picks. I didn't mention this to the guys, but let's do early Super Bowl pick. Who's going to win it all? Gil Santos.
Well, in my book. Well, in the AFC, thought we were doing the divisional finals. So I got AFC, I got Baltimore, Kansas City, and I got Baltimore going to the finals. NFC, I got Philadelphia and San Fran. And then I got San Fran going to the finals. And I got Baltimore Ravens winning the
Baltimore Ravens. Wow, you're really high on the Ravens. Jose, who do you have winning the Super Bowl? You can pick the final teams if you want.
It's going to be the Niners against the Buffalo Bills, and the Niners win the Super Bowl. Because if they don't win this year, then the next year it's going to be a blow up the team.
That's right.
And so
the Bills is a wild card. Season. The Bills is the wild card. Go to the Super Bowl. Okay.
Yep.
Tony, off the top of your head, I want to surprise you guys with this one.
KC, and I'm gonna say the Bengals in the AFC Championship game. I say the Bengals take it again this year. And in the NFC, I got the Niners and the Cowboys. Super Bowl will be 49ers Bengals. If Purdy's that guy, the 49ers will win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I got the Bengals playing the 49ers. KC will make the championship game because they make it every year. I think the Cowboys are going to play San Fran in the championship game. I really think it's going to be those two. And I think the 49ers beat them. And this is the year for me that the 49ers have to win the Super Bowl because they're going to lose a lot of their players because they're in cap hell. If they have to pay Bosa $35 million, they're going to have to either release some guys or trade some guys because the salaries that some of these guys are on next year, unless they all restructure, there's going to be some guys that are going to be gone. So this is their best chance to win it with the team that they have. If they don't do it this year, they won't win it. And Shanahan could be in trouble along with Mr. Lynch there. But that's our picks for this year. We will be back for our weekly picks. Barbosa, are you going to be on the weekly pick show, or is it going to be me, Jose, and Gil this year?
Yeah, I'll be in the weekly pick shows.
Okay, so I'll have to make room for you. It's not against the spread. It's just weekly picks every every year. Jose and I are working on a trophy. Jose did win last year, so we're working on a trophy. We can put names on it and stuff. So we're gonna have the belt be passed around on a weekly basis or on a championship basis. But we pick non-spread, keep the records every week. That will be on Tuesday. So you can join us for that show. As always, like, subscribe, and comment. Let us know what you guys think. Give us your picks for the season. Any comments, I'd love. Spread it everywhere. We'll have all four of us back for the picks. We love competing in this competition every year. So this will be a lot of fun, especially when we have weird picks and then Jose and Tony go at it. Let me just for fun, who's Indy playing week 1? Let's do it. Let's see right now who they're playing. Because last
the
year
Jaguars. The Jaguars.
Okay, so
Jaguars.
Yeah,
At home.
Say goodnight. Say goodnight. Say goodnight,
home.
week 1.
Yeah,
At home.
they get blown up by 21.
The Packers have the Bears, and we know what's happening there because they never beat the Bears, never beat the Packers, although maybe this will be the first time, Gil, we'll see. 49ers are in tough. They got to go to Pittsburgh, and if their team's not whole, that's going to be a tough game no matter what. The 49ers also don't have a kicker right now because they let Robbie Gould go, and their rookie kicker is injured, so the 49ers have some issues going into week 1.
They'll sign him. They're
Right?
going to sign Robbie Gould if they have to, just for a couple of games and stuff like that. But
the 49ers do have some issues going into week 1, and that could be a prime upset spot. I love my 49ers, but that's an upset spot. Like, going to Pittsburgh's tough week 1, so we'll see. I have to make up my mind on that. But that's a preview for our next show, which will come on Tuesday. But for now, we will say goodbye and thank you for joining us. That's Jose Carlos Gomes over there. We have Tony Barbosa with his Colts fandom. And we're very happy to have Gilbert Iron Man Santos back with us, the Green Bay fan. We'll look more forward to when he's more awake for his comedy because, he's going to take shots at everybody when the season starts. And then we'll have a little more fun on the show. I, of course, am the mouth of the North, Andrew Reese, and we'll see you next time on the Reese Report.